Good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock. Let's call the meeting to order for February 8th, 2022 in Polk County Regional Health Building, Suite A. At this time, if you have not already done so, would you please mute all your cell phones and other devices? And Jay Burke is going to lead us in prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day and thank you for allowing us to be born in this great nation. I just ask that you'll be with each and every member on this court, be with them and their families, for it takes their family to support them to be able to support this county. I just ask for the same for every level of government in this nation now. I ask that you'll be with our first responders, all of our medical personnel, law enforcement, especially be with our military right now. I just ask that you'll hold each one of these court members hold them in your hands and let their heart make a decision that is pleasing to the people in Polk County and most of all pleasing to you. I ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jane. Madam Clerk?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, item number 2, did anyone sign up for public comment? No. Number 3, do we have any informational reports from the floor? Obviously, Commissioner Purvis is not here, but he called earlier, and so he will not be available at all today. Item number 4, new business, consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that anybody wishes to pull?
I have one thing on there for correction.
Okay.
I didn't catch it prior to court on F.
Okay.
Portion, I'd like to take that portion of Poncho Road off and leave it as is.
Okay. Okay, then we will pull F out and vote on that separately. Anything else that needs to come out? Okay, the remainder of the consent agenda, you have an addendums 2 on B. Addendum number 1 in the amount of $52,712.99, and addendum number 2 in the amount of $111,044.74. So motion to approve with everything except for F.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Robertson, Commissioner Overstreet, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now on F, approve update to the Master Street Address Guide, the NSAG. Commissioner Overstreet has requested now that the portion of Poncho Road to County Road Falls be left as is. Everything else on that stands.
Motion approved. Second.
Comes as a motion from Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 5, consider approval of personnel matters as follows. A, review and consideration of personnel action form requests submitted since last meeting and review of any authorized emergency hiring. You have 2 emergency hires, one at the sheriff and one at the jail. We included the preliminary listing of the PAFs in your packet.
Motion approved. Second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Vincent, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 5B, discuss and consider request from sheriff to pay out all jail staff FLSA comp time and lost vacation and straight comp time from October 1, 2021 to February 13, 2022. We received a request from the sheriff, which is included for your review, to pay out this time due to factors beyond any of our control. COVID outbreaks, we've had several people that have had to work overtime during this entire COVID, and so he requested a report at this time. HR reviewed it and made corrections as necessary, and the total in lost compensation vacation time is around 300 hours, so an additional 146 hours of comp time will be lost if we do not allow for this to move forward. Per our calculations, the total payout in wages would be under $23,000, and the jail has sufficient funds available due to the extended vacancies.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Motion to approve Commissioner Vincent, second Commissioner Robertson. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consider request for revisions and amendments to the budget as follows. A, the FY 2022 budget revisions and amendments as presented by the County Auditor's Office. A copy of the proposed revisions, number 2022-07, and amendment number 2022-07A is included in your packet for your review.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet. Need a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Robertson, any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, consider approval of offers to purchase tax foreclosed properties as follows, are in precinct 2. So, Commissioner?
Sale.
Second.
Comes as a motion from Commissioner Vincent. Second, was you, Commissioner Overstreet?
Yes.
Commissioner Overstreet, any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, discuss, consider bid and take action on the Texas Department of Agriculture FY 2020 Dallersville Segno Water Supply Corporation Plant Improvements, contract number 7220361. The grant funds that were awarded for construction were $209,500, and they have some alternative bids. Do we have anybody here? Come on up, Nick.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so we received 2 bids on February, we had 2 bids turned in on February 2nd. The base bid was, just to give you an update of what the project was, base bid was to rehab the existing tank, build a 40,000 gallon bolted tank. Alternate bid 1, rehab existing, build a 40,000 gallon welded steel tank. Alternate bid 2, rehab existing, 60,000 gallon bolted tank. And alt bid 3, rehab existing 60,000 gallon welded tank. The additive alternate was to do level gauges or target gauges in lieu of pressure gauges on the tanks. After discussing with the water board, Dallersville Segno, they want to award alternate bid number 2, which is rehab the existing tank and build a 60,000 gallon bolted steel tank. That does exceed, and they're aware that exceeds the grant construction funds, and they are willing to pay the overage on that. So that is our recommendation to y'all, to award alternate bid number 2 in the amount of $280,150.
That was my understanding.
That's our understanding as well. Okay, Commissioner Overstreet?
Motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
to approve. Second, Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank
Any
y'all.
opposed?
Thank
Motion
y'all.
carries. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate y'all's hard work. Item number 9, consider order authorizing the sale of fireworks during the Texas Independence Day period of February 25th, 2022 through midnight, March 2nd, 2022. A copy of the proposed order is included for your review. Is our fire marshal here?
No.
Okay, an order allowing sales during this particular holiday period must be adopted by February 15th. Carrie, did we receive anything directly from?
We got the information from the emergency management.
Yes, I seen that yesterday.
Okay, emergency management has made an indication that we go ahead and move forward. So we need an order whether or not you want to move forward with the order which is included for your review.
Motion to let them pop.
Motion to move
I'll
forward,
second.
Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Robertson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any further discussion? Motion carries. Item number 10, consider approval to transfer 2 patrol units from the Sheriff's Office to Constable Precinct 4. Constable Darwin Evans has requested the transfer of 2 high mileage patrol units from the Sheriff's Office to his department. The units were actually on the list of vehicles for trade-ins to Enterprise as soon as we receive the new vehicles, but since they are high mileage, it would probably behoove the county to go ahead and transfer it to the constable.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, consider request for capital purchases to be paid from general fund balance and included on the FY 2022 reimbursement resolution for year-end issuance of legally authorized debt as follows. A, the county auditor's request to purchase a new check printer not to exceed $1,106. This approved capital purchase was on the projections list for 2022 and included 2 desktop scanners for $2,000 and a desktop printer for $500 for the auditor's office, which has not been approved for purchase by the court. They're having issues now with their main check printer, which is clearly important to the county, and so we would like to move forward with the help of IT.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion to approve Commissioner Robertson, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, consider approval of capital outlay buildings expense, budgeted funds of A, and we'll do these together, a sewer line repair, including extraction and replacement of old cast iron and clay pipes at the Polk County Office Annex in the amount of $16,500. And B, chiller repair at the Polk County Jail in the amount of $22,832.31. Both of these were necessary repairs that have already been completed, and maintenance is requesting that the funding come from the capital outlay buildings, which does have a budget in it at this time of $117,309.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Robertson, second Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, discuss and consider approval of supplemental budget management software. If you will recall, we tabled this the last time. So in an effort to get ready or be better prepared for the budget system, at this time, we're ramping up to start the 2023 budget process, and there are significant glitches on some of the Excel spreadsheets that have been utilized for personnel expenses. And so I would like to point out to you all that those Excel spreadsheets were developed by Marcia Cook. So that tells you how long they have been in use by the county. So I think they're just finally giving up the ghost. So we've been looking for other options for tracking and managing employee wages, benefits, and other related expenses. INCO does have a module, but it's not as efficient as what we need in terms of being able to make changes and modifications in the middle, during the budget. So the agenda, we included on the agenda item on December 28th, but requested to table it. So we have, we're now bringing you ClearGov, which works well with Encode. They've agreed to waive the setup fees of $3,600. Their annual fee is $15,600, and it will be prorated for this year to $9,100. It includes capital budgeting, and it will provide unlimited training. Also, this information and this availability can be made available to the auditor's office and to HR. That will allow the auditor to be able to respond to the ClearGov information and to do all of their reporting as well. So I need a motion.
So moved.
Commissioner
I'll
Overstreet,
second.
second Commissioner Robertson. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 14, Commissioner Purvis regrets that he could not be here, but this comes from him. Consider approval to erect interoperable communications tower and run fiber cabling in Precinct 3 to be funded by the American Rescue Plan Act, our ARPA funds. This will actually be our first project with that. We've had a broadband internet communications committee that has been set up for the last 4 years, I would say. Been meeting consistently, and so then when COVID came along, it only verified for us things that we already knew. One of the things that we all knew is that the north end of the county is a giant black hole. It's a black hole for cell service, it's a black hole for interoperable communications, it's a black hole for internet, it's just a giant black hole. So, the broadband internet committee met again, have gone through some of the priorities, And we communicated with DETCOG and Motorola, met at precinct 3. They looked at the property there that the county currently owns, and it was deemed to be a good location. What it will allow us to do is that then we will have complete interoperable communications within Polk County, and it will also start tying us into the regional plan with DETCOG. So at this time, we're asking what they've recommended. Originally, when we discussed it with the sheriff and when we discussed it with, and actually some of the police departments also came, what the recommendation at that time was to at least go with a 400-foot tower, and that's so that you can get above the pine trees. When we went out there, they looked at it, the recommendation is for a 440. What that will also allow us to do is to sell tower space on it for any broadband, cell phone, anybody like that, and so we'll create a revenue stream for the county as well.
So will that have like the repeater on it, like for the sheriff's office?
No, it will be a solid tower. It won't just have a repeater. It will repeat back and forth to the other towers, but this one will have the internet and power all the way to it. So it will be a solid tower.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Robertson. We have a tie on second.
Vincent.
Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I do have to say that our group that has been meeting for all those years, we really have to say a huge thanks to all of them. We did ask at that time when we first started, we did have our providers also participating at that time so that they could kind of provide some guidance. Since East Tex Telephone, LivCom, and Lake Livingston, since all of them will be now bidding on projects and being part of the solution, then we have asked them to step off of the committee at this time. Okay, number 15, receive nuisance abatement hearing determination for cause number A00494 and consider order to abate the nuisance. So a copy of the nuisance abatement hearing determination is included for your review, which is to issue an order to abate and to assess the cost. And this case is located in Road and Bridge Precinct 2. Commissioner Vincent?
Motion to abate.
Motion
Second.
to abate. Commissioner Vincent, Commissioner Overstreet.
Not a board debate, huh?
I don't think there's much room for discussion in that one, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 16, consider approval of plat of Falcone Forest, Section 3 subdivision located in Precinct 4. The application satisfies all the requirements for the court's approval. Commissioner Overstreet?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Robertson. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 17, discuss and consider available options for the Polk County Peace Officers Association's continued use of the county property, buildings, and gun range located in Moscow, Texas. Their first request was for the county to donate the property to the Peace Officers Association. However, they do not qualify because they are not a government agency, they're not a 501c3, so they do not qualify. Historically, that was originally the group that received the donation of the property or the land, but at some point in time, that property was turned over to the county, so that they would not have to pay taxes and would not have to sink their own money, I guess I should say. So that not being an option, the Polk County Peace Officers would prefer to continue utilizing the property at their discretion for a minimal fee. We spoke to TAC about that, and that is not a consideration because under this scenario, if we did that, then we would actually have to solicit bids and have an open bid process that would open that up to anybody in the county that was interested in leasing that property. So the second option that the court needs to consider and we mentioned this briefly last time, would be to assign the building to the sheriff's office as if it was within their own building itself. And that would keep it available for training purposes for law enforcement offices in Polk County. I met with the sheriff and I met with Chief Childers, and the sheriff is willing to move forward with that. That would continue to make that property available to the Peace Officers Association. And just for the record, previously it has been utilized by all of the police departments, by the SO, by IAH, by DPS, by Texas AgriLife, the game wardens, and the Peace Officers Association at different points in time, especially if they are trying to do shooting for training purposes. So in discussion with the sheriff, he said he is willing to accept that responsibility, and he will go through and start working on what those options would look like if it's the court's pleasure. Ricky, do you want to add anything to that? Anybody else want to add anything
What's
to
the
that?
timeline? It's to start working on that option. What is the timeline?
Well, we would go ahead and start working on it right away. He has already given us some of the things that he would want to consider. The request that I made on behalf of the court, and certainly it can be expanded, was that it also continue to include Texas AgriLife, the game warden programs. At one time they taught hunter safety out there as well. That it continue to provide as many educational and training services as it can. The difference would be that the request for utilizing it would go through the sheriff or the sheriff's office, whoever he designates as being the person that says yea or nay.
So those are all things that have been happening in the past?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that was part of it, was finding out what else, what other organizations were utilizing that facility. It's a rather specific facility. A shooting range is not exactly on every street corner.
Right.
So we wanna make sure that when the sheriff starts kind of delineating what he wants, that we do not have any organizations that would benefit that would then be cut out.
So do you anticipate that he would have that done by in the next 6 weeks, 6 months? I'm just curious.
Oh, no. We want to have it done within the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
I'm not saying we can have it
Right.
by the next meeting, because the next meeting is next Friday. But we'll get to work on it. And he already has been reviewing it and thinking about it along with Chief Childers.
I guess we don't have a whole lot of options. I'll make a motion, we proceed with it going to the sheriff's office,
Yes, sir.
Second.
or the sheriff,
Well, probably sheriff's office, that way he can have it designated.
yeah.
Okay, Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, remember that the next meeting is on Friday, February the 18th. Because we're going to VG Young. Okay, now Commissioner Overstreet.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Vincent, seconds. What time is it, Madam Clerk?
Don't leave, you got a
10:24.
packet signed.
Thank you.
Please.
Nobody on the court leave, we have a clap.